Hello AMP students, my name is Eric Barn, and today I'm going to be taking you guys through the hypothenar and the thenar eminence. So if we start here with the hypothenar eminence here, we can see that it's going to have a group of 4 muscles. It's going to be on the medial side of the palm, so it will be on the same side as digit 5 or the pinky. And all of these muscles are going to help to move the pinky, to flex it, to abduct it, and oppose it. And I'll go over opposition in a little bit. And then this hypothenar eminence will also be innervated by the ulnar nerve. So just a quick question, what cord of the brachial plexus will give a branch that becomes the ulnar nerve? Okay, so the medial cord will give off that branch. Now moving on to the thenar eminence, we're going to have a group of 3 muscles on the lateral side of the palm. So on the side of digit 1 or the thumb. This is going to help with movements of the thumb, so again it will flex, abduct, and it will oppose. And then this eminence is innervated by the median nerve. And again, I'll ask you guys, what cords give off branches to the median nerve? Okay, so the lateral and the medial cord will give off branches, and then they will converge and become that median nerve. And it will go down through your forearm and into your hand to innervate these eminences. Now, before we hop over to visible body, I want to go over the actions of the thumb, because they're not exactly what you think they are. So if we look at this first bullet, we have flexion and extension. Now we're used to having flexion and extension happening in the sagittal plane. So say you were looking at your biceps brachii, flexion and extension would occur in the sagittal plane there. But since we're talking about the thumb, flexion and extension are actually going to be happening in the frontal plane. And I'll demonstrate that to you guys in a couple seconds. Then if we go on to this next bullet, we have adduction and abduction, which again we're used to seeing in the frontal plane. So say we're looking at your deltoid will do shoulder abduction in the frontal plane, which is what we're used to. But if we're talking about the thumb, then adduction and abduction will both be in the sagittal plane. And then just one more action to note here is opposition. And opposition is if you take your thumb and your pinky and you just touch them together. And I encourage you guys to do these motions as I talk about them in the next slide. So in order to go over the actions of the thumb, I'm going to go over them with my own hand so that you guys can see them. So if we start with opposition, so again, I said opposition is touching your thumb and your pinky together. So if you just touch them together, that right there would be opposition. Then next, we can address flexion and extension. So again, if you put your hand out like this, and then flexion would be like this. And then extension would just be bringing it back to normal like this. And again, this is happening in the frontal plane, opposite of what we usually think of. We usually think of the sagittal plane, but here we'll be in the frontal plane. Then next, we can address abduction and adduction. So if we put our hand like this now, if we go like this right here, this will be abduction, and this will be adduction. So let me say that again. You have abduction away from the midline, and then adduction is adding it to the midline. So those are all of the actions of the thumb. Now let's go to visible body to visualize the thenar and hypothenar eminences. So now that we're in visible body, we can take a better look at this thenar and hypothenar eminence. So let's first go over the thenar eminence. So if you remember me saying earlier, the thenar eminence is on the thumb side of the palm. So it will be this group of 3 muscles right here. And if I select one of them and look at the action, then we can see that this group of muscles will help in hand opposition. So we can see the thumb coming together to touch that pinky, which is called opposition. And all these muscles will be helping with thumb movement during that opposition. So now if we move on to the hypothenar eminence, we have this group of 4 muscles. And if we select this muscle right here, we can see that these muscles will also help in opposition of the hand. And these muscles will be working on the pinky. So we can see how this thenar and hypothenar eminence will help in that hand opposition. So now, if we add in the nerves, we can see the median and the ulnar nerve coming into the hand here. So if you remember me saying from earlier, we have the ulnar branch, which will come and innervate the hypothenar eminence. And then we have the median nerve, which will come and innervate the thenar eminence. So this is all I wanted to go over with you guys today. So thank you for your time and have a great week.